Welcome back to Sampstra Games, the place to find new strategy games, and today I have a game that I'm very excited to show you. It's called Banners of Ruin, and it's published by Goblin Studio, who also published games like A Long Way Down or Robotorium, so you know it's gonna be a very good game. And the game did not disappoint, okay? We're playing without tutorial, because we are good at these kind of games, and we'll be playing on the default branch so you can know what to expect. Now let me show you. So we start off on a street. The way this works is that each encounter on the street has a timer, in this case 1. And if you choose an option, 1 will get lowers from all timers, and if it's 0 then it disappears. So essentially that means that you can either choose to do the gift or the helping hand. If one of these had 2, then we could have chosen the other thing and then still chosen that one. And this thing in the middle has no timer, so this will stay here forever, and this is a combat and will allow us to progress further in the street. So this is essentially like a map, except you don't see the whole map, you always only see like the specific encounters. Here you can see how much money we have. They're called florins. And then here you can see our party. We have this beautiful party. We have this mouse and the bear. I'm going to be calling them after one of my patrons. So the mouse, Durwater, is actually going to be Robert. And this beautiful bear, Gray, is going to be called Vasily after one of my newest patrons. Thank you so much for supporting me. Now here you can click on your cards. Most cards are shared between characters. For example, this card, even though it has a picture of the mouse, momentum, it can be used by anybody. Some cards have this symbol up here, and that means that they're specific to the character. So for example, this round shield and this axe is specific to Robert the mouse. And the great sword is specific to Vasily the bear. Okay? So no other characters can use them. Now, let's go. Here you can change your combat positions, but we're going to see more of that in the actual combat. So let's go into combat. So we can choose to get money, florins, or do the helping hand. I think we'll do money. A shifty looking Blackfoot scurries towards you. Hey! Warning of danger ahead. Roll on! He can offer you some funds, but needs to leave fast. Are you, money, me, safe? Apparently he just doesn't like to talk. Apparently words are fairly difficult too for him. Alright, so here you can see that these things change into tunnel walls, and now the only option we can do is do combat. Precious laughter echoes down the dark damn tunnel. The enders won't suspect a thing. But will they? You emerge from the black and find yourself in one of the guard bunks. Where the devils did you come from? You can't be here. Well, I mean, you're already here. Alright, so you can see your enemies here, and you can see that they have like 2 sets of rows. So this is not the same as it is in, for example, Darkest Dungeon or Erta's Lord of the Dead or Dead Age 2 or other games that we play on this channel. These rows work differently. If there was an enemy in the back row, it's called rank by the way here, not a row, then they wouldn't attack on this turn. This determines which rank attacks. So at the moment, all the enemies in the front rank will attack, and none of the enemies from the back rank would attack. And then on the next turn, the enemies from the back rank would attack and not those from the front end. It also means that melee weapons can hit the people in the back rank as well as the front rank. So this is not like in some other games where you have to use a range attack to hit the people in the back. You can use melee attacks to attack anybody. Now, this is a roguelike deck builder, but there is no like main mana here. Instead, the mana, it's not called mana here, it's called stamina, is specific to a character. So, each character has stamina. This is this yellow thing. The stamina originates at the start of each turn, and the willpower, which persists throughout the whole combat. So it generates at the start of the combat to 1, and then if you use it, you just use it, that's it. And then you can use these cards. Like I already explained, most cards are shared, but some are specific, so this one can only be used by the mouse. Each character also has health. The characters do not heal between combat, so if you get hurt, that's it. And then this is armor, not a shield, which means it will not regenerate at the start of each combat. It's persistent throughout the combat. So, health remains the same between combats. Armor and willpower regenerates at the start of each combat, and stamina regenerates at the start of each turn. Okay? You can see the enemy's intents down on the bottom. They all plan to attack us for 8. And if they had 3 or more allies, they would raise their armor, but they don't have 3 or more allies, so we don't care. You can hover over them to see who attacks who. So we can see that this mouse attacks the bear, and these 2 attack my mouse. So this is going to be 16 damage to my mouse and 8 damage to my bear. So We don't quite have high enough shield, but we're doing pretty well. Now, this card is on each card you can see the cost over here on the left. For example, this card is free. It allows us to discard a card and gain 3 charge. 3 charge is especially useful if you can do multi-attacks. Like for example, if you could do 3 times 3 damage, then with the charge it's actually going to be 6 times 3 damage, and so on. 1 guard, deal 6 damage if a character is in the front rank plus 4 damage. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to use this shield. This is going to give us a 10 shield and spawns a take cover card, which will allow us to apply shield to a party member. So we're going to do that on the mouse. So we have to click on the mouse first, then we'll do the round shield. And we'll also do take cover to give him cover. So this is good. Now we can do one more action with him. So we're going to do, I think we'll do the 1 guard and do 10 damage to this mouse over here. This is now down to 4. We cannot do anything else with the mouse. Now with the bear, we're going to use the guard. Actually, we're going to do 6 damage to the opponent with lowest vitality, sure. And now we could either do the guard or gain charge. I think it's better to actually go for protection, because you do not regenerate the health at the end, at the start of the next combat. Like if you just get hurt, you get hurt for a while. I find it more beneficial to play a bit more defensively, even though I as a person prefer to play aggressively. But in this case, it might actually be better to be defensive. They're spreading their attacks. That's good because we've got enough defense for that. However, they do apply bleeding to us, which is not ideal. So let's start this off with, we do not have any specific cards, so we could use with the bear 12 damage and apply 4 bleeding. Sure, let's use that on this one. They have safety in numbers. On turn start, if the character has 3 or more allies, their block is raised to 10. Yeah, well, that's not working for them. That's good. And here with my mouse, I think I'm gonna do draw 1 card and gain 1 vigor. The next time this character spends stamina, it is refunded and vigor is removed. So for the price of 1, for the second win, we could play 1 card for free. Interesting. Also, withdraw with something that costs willpower would allow us to apply block to target ally and swap position with them. We don't really want that. I think it's worth trying the second win. We got a rush, 1 time 3 damage. Well, that's not ideal because we do not have any charge, but we're still going to use it. We have the vigor, so so the vigor thing is interesting because you do have to have the stamina in order to play it, and then you get it back. But because we do not have the stamina in the beginning, we actually cannot use it. Alright, this guy's going to die with bleeding by himself, so that's good. And we're gonna hit the other one. So we have some character specific cards. We're gonna use the greatsword. This is amazing because this attacks all targets on rank, which is kind of insane. It's really, really good. And our mouse could now use, we'll start with the hatchet, does 8 damage, and then we can kill him with a strike. Nice. So we're gonna gain our money and a new card. Second win, draw 1 card and gain 1 vigor. So this is really interesting. You do have to have the stamina to use it, but I like this quite a bit. Deal 3 damage if target dies, draw 3 cards. So this is a good draw card. I like that. Or deal 5 damage if opponent is in background, deal 12 instead. I think I'm gonna take the Bloodlust. I like that. Because I found that quite often you can play around with like which card is gonna be the kill shot. Like not every time, but usually. And so it can be quite useful. So let's enter the city. You open the hatch and enter the city. Alright. And here we find, ooh, so we've got just combat, okay? By the way, our characters can also level up. Let me show it to you. We don't have a level up yet. So first of all, what you can do with your characters is you can equip specific cards to them. For example, you can change the weapons. So instead of the greatsword, you can have something else, and then you can use that card by himself, obviously. Also on level up, you can increase either his stamina or willpower. Okay, and here, like I said already before, you could put them into different combat positions. This can be useful, like you know, you can have some characters in the background and things like that if you wanted to, but we're not going to do it just yet. Let's do a combat, doesn't matter which one. Foes block your path. You can't move this way without a fight. Take their blood for landing. Right, let's do it. That seems pretty easy. 2 scoundrels, they're doing 2 times 4 damage to us. Now we're gonna have to start with the great sword. Let's do it. And then my other character could use 5 damage. You know what, let's start with the second win. Then we'll play the hatchet and we'll get it back. And now we could use the bloodlust. Which allow us to draw extra. Oh, I was hoping we'd draw some of these like free cards. But we didn't. Now this enemy is attacking the mouse who has enough of a armor. So we're just gonna do a regular attack here. But I think that went pretty well. Because we do have some 0-cost cards, so that's why I was kind of hoping to handle it. But, ooh, so he's moving within his rank, but it doesn't really matter. We'll start off with Sharpened Steel. I think that seems pretty good, and he's dead. We get some money, we can get a new card. Deal 6 damage, apply 2 vulnerable, draw 2 cards. Nice. Deal 6 damage to rank, amazing. Apply Focus Fire. Whenever the opponent is attacked, apply 1 overwhelm. For every stack of armor, this character receives 25% more damage from attacks removed at the start of this character's turn. So essentially you have to start with Focus Fire, and then you have to pile up other cards on top of that. That is interesting to me. Also, the card will then be banished. Banishing card moves it to the banish pile, or it will stay for the remainder of the combat. It's going to only use it once per combat. However, the 6 damage to rank is also quite exciting, since I could play it on my other character, the one who doesn't have the greatsword. And I do like multi-damage. Or in this case, damage to multiple enemies. But I'm gonna grab this Focus Fire because I want to show it off to you. I do want to show it off. Ooh, interesting. So we've got options. A pair of guardsmen are rounding on a black bear. Overzealous guards, helping hand, or a mentor. Now seems like a good time to take a short rest. There might be something to learn here. This would allow us to modify our deck. This gives us provision. Let's do the mentor thing. That seems interesting. I think it also gives us healing, which we don't really care about, but still. Ooh, we could duplicate a card. Now seems like a good time to take a short rest. Perhaps an opportunity to learn something new. I think I want to duplicate Bloodlust. Or can we can, so I was gonna look if we can duplicate the weapon like what we have the greatsword, because that isn't really good. I'm thinking to replicate something that's 0 cost, so either the No Mercy or the Bloodlust. The Bloodlust doesn't do as much damage as the No Mercy, but I do like the ability to potentially draw cards, especially if you're going to be building a deck that's mostly 0 cost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this Bloodlust. I'm going to do it. Ooh, Decoy, Back Alley, or Intelligence. Ooh, we could gain extra XP, which would be good because I could show you leveling up. Ooh. You see a narrow gap in the side of the street obscured by passers-by. It looks right on guard. Select a lane or remove the next 2 cards. Interesting. Or Decoy. You find yourself faced with a hard situation. If you can set up a distraction, you might be able to work around it. Select a card, move it to this lane, +1 to its counter. Let's try that. So I'd like to select Intelligence because I want to do that. So I can still do this. So, okay, so this will allow me to essentially skip combat. Because I took the decoy and now I'm going to do the intelligence, the combat has a 1 timer, so it's going to disappear, so I don't have to do combat, and I'm now super smart. I mean, that went very well. Find a letter from your superiors detailing important information concerning the enemy. Alright. Do I still not get a level up? No, 450 out of 500, almost there. Now, we could do a combat here, or... Chance to heal, we don't need to heal, or execute. You dispatch the militia guards with ease, however one mouse is left begging at your feet for his life. Let's listen to him. You meander through narrow passages of the city when you hear a command from behind. Halt! What's your business? You and your men take down the guard in swift response with ease. One mouse remains, trips and falls back into a corner. Please, have mercy. I was just doing my job. What should we do? Execute him, permanently ruin a card. Let him go. So generally in Roguelike Deckbuilders, it seems to be a good idea to get rid of the basic cards that are just like not as strong as the super fancy cards that we're drawing. So I think I do kind of want to let him go. I was hoping it might get some reward for that. It doesn't seem to say here. But now let me show you off the permanently ruin a card. So basic block we could get rid of, or just like a basic attack, like a basic strike. I think I'm just gonna remove a basic strike. I do like the blocks. Ooh, search party. They've stumbled across you. One of them figured you out and alerted the others. Is that the punishment for executing that man? It might be. Alright, so we've got this guy. 5 damage to opponent's ring. This guy's doing 10 damage, so 10 damage, so it's 20 damage. This guy's attacking the bear. Okay, 20 damage to the bear, 10 damage to the mouse. Wow, these guys are really, really strong. So we'll start with, I think we'll start with the mouse, use second win. Oh, so actually I was kind of hoping we'd have something that has like a 2 HP price, but it doesn't. Okay, let's use the hatchet. It's going to break the armor on this thing. Then we're going to use withdraw to apply shield to him. And then we're going to jump to this position. They still attack him, so it's not that big of a deal. Alright, then we're going to use, we cannot use anything with this guy, and with this one we're going to use guard, then rush, and then bloodlust, which is kind of pointless here, but it's the only thing we can do. They have a very high damage. We do have a pretty good shield here, so I'm happy with that, but... Oh, we evaded his attack. He now has Fury. Deals 6 damage. If opponent has more than 18 block, applies 4 blood. At the end of this character gains 4 charge equal to stacks of Fury, and Fury increases by 2. Oh, so we should kill him quickly. But I do want to focus on killing this guy first. We do have a shield, but we do not have anything else. So we're going to start off with this guy with using the sharpened steel. Let's use the No Mercy first, then sharpened steel to make this guy dead. Okay. Then we're going to use my other one and use his round shield. Then give a shield to his friend. And then he's going to strike... How much damage? You're doing 6 damage, you're doing 12 damage, all of it to this guy. Let's use a strike on this main enemy. You want to start getting him down. Because with the charging, that's a bit of a problem. Yeah, this guy's losing a lot of his HP. That's not ideal. Deal 5 damage, take 1 damage. Interesting. Oh, so actually because we ruined that card, we now get this instead. Well, that's not great. Apply focus fire. Could do that with you. We don't really have... No, instead we're going to use solid footing. So he's going to gain that he cannot play for 1 turn. But that doesn't really matter at this point for us. So let's use a guard. Then Ragged Claw on this one. And then we're also going to use the Bloodlust. So we're getting him down to 15 HP. They're doing... We have protection. We're good. We're gonna need to heal the bear soon though. He's such a high charge, but that's okay. We should be able to get rid of him. 10 damage with this. No, let's do 12 damage with the greatsword. And then the mouse could do... I could use the momentum. Yeah, let's discard the Ragged Claw. We gain momentum, and then we could do more damage. Honestly, it doesn't... Actually, yeah, let's use the Vanguard for more damage on this one. And then we use a regular strike to finish off the Enforcer. So now the only attack is this. 5 to the whole rank, which is fine because we have enough of a armor against that. Good. Now we need to do 13 damage, which we should be able to do in our sleep. Or not, because we do not get any good cards. So, let's play the second win. Seriously, let's just get blocks. I guess we'll take cover and use the take cover on the other one. Then we're going to use all of our bloodlusts here. And then we'll use another guard. And this guy can use, I mean, I guess use withdraw. We don't really need that, but I mean, what can we do? Oh no, okay, so I didn't realize that was, I thought he was doing less to everybody. Never mind. I don't know if it said to ally, so I'm assuming I couldn't put it on the bear anyway. But maybe. I don't actually know. More defense is not bad. Swap position with the target party member, no. If active character is in the front, they'll deal weapon damage. In back rank, apply 3 to ally in front. So this is pretty good, because if the character is in the front rank, we essentially just get basic attack, which is not half bad for 1-0. But if we're in the back, we can put and charge on somebody. Yeah, let's grab that. I'm okay with that. And let's do a level up now. We'll start with the bear. With the bear. You can pick a specific card from restore 12 vitality and remove bleeding from each character in your rank. Perfect. So this essentially gives us 1 healing every single combat. Or we could use tenacity to remove negative effects. Don't really care. Pulverize though. Deal weapon damage +5. If this breaks the target's defense, deal weapon damage again. Gain 2 winded. Next turn lose 1 stamina for every stack of winded. Then winded is removed. In the current situation, this would mean that we run out. We cannot essentially do anything the next turn. But since we're going to increase stamina, this is not too bad. I think we need the healing though. Let's increase the stamina, and we're gonna go to our other character. With him, we could get what? Draw 4 cards, gain unplayable. Gain anticipation and feint. The next time this character loses vitality from an attack, they gain 20 guard for every stack of anticipation. Takes down by 1 each turn. So essentially we have to play it when we're about to get hit. And feint. For 1 turn, the first time your block is broken, this character gains 1 rage. Whenever this character deals damage, the damage is doubled. Takes down by 1 at the end of each turn. So essentially you want to play this card when you know they will break your armor, because then you get 20 armor on the next turn and you get rage, which will allow you to deal double damage on the next turn. This is a really good card. You have to play it at the right time, but it's really, really good. I'm gonna give him more stamina as well. Courage, a chance to improve, overzealous guards investigation, or lose money. Let's do courage. This will take some guts. Strength can be found through adversity. Okay. Some enders are hot on your trail. You turn a corner and find seemingly dead end. Durwater yells, "Over here, a hedge!" Bah, the cursed thing is sealed. Force it open. Durwater gains 1 max stamina, suffers 10 damage. You can afford it. Do it. Durwater, as I call him, Robert, exhaustively dungeons the lock with their weapon until it finally thunders open. Quick, quick, get in! As Robert begins to heave the door shut, a deft arrow found its mark near their shoulder. You disappear into the shadows. Ooh, we made it. Crossroads, thief, or fight or flight. Elite combat. We are kind of banged up for an elite combat. Let's do crossroads. Oh, okay. Combat anyway. Well, we're actually kind of out of time, so I think we're going to end the episode here. Write it down in the comments if you'd like me to continue the series. And you can click on the right to watch some other games published by Goblin Studio, like Robotorium or A Long Way Down. I'll see you there. Bye bye.